Yo, what's up everybody, it's your boy LVS Void coming in with part 5 to What If Naruto Was Muichiro Tokito. Nothing as he said. So, where we left off last episode was with Naruto going off with Jiraiya in search of Tsunade, and in the process finding her as well as Shizune, and going into a fight with Orochimaru, with Orochimaru as well as Kabuto being able to escape narrowly, with Tsunade as well agreeing with Naruto and Jiraiya to go back to the village to become the 5th Hokage. So before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask everyone watching to hit that like button as well as that subscribe button, as it really means a lot to me. So yeah, let's just get right into this. With Jiraiya, Shizune, and Tsunade as well as Naruto coming back to the village, they'd be greeted by the two village guards that were at the front gates of Konoha, and they would immediately recognize Jiraiya as well as Tsunade, as well as Naruto, as he was a big focus in the news around the village, as a lot of the ninja had talked about and gossiped of Naruto's heritage, that being the son of the 4th Hokage, as well as the Red Death of Konoha, that being Kushina. With all the other guards seeing them, they would immediately open the gates, allowing all of them to come into the village. While walking around, all the villagers look at Naruto and see also Shizune, Jiraiya as well as Tsunade, after getting the news that Tsunade will be their 5th Hokage and that Naruto was the son of the 4th Hokage, and would start to regret their hatred towards Naruto, as he was the son of the villagers, the son of the savior of the village, but with some of them thinking that this must be a trick, that the QB is doing this to try to gain trust in the village, and them hating Naruto even more, believing that he is the Ninetales itself, as he doesn't really show any facial expression, as he seems cold and empathetic towards people around him, which isn't the case, but they don't know that, as they haven't gotten to know Naruto, as a lot of the people who have been around him actually know him for. With Tsunade then going to the Fire Daimyo and stuff like that, she would be put in as the official 5th Hokage of Konoha, with all the other business as well going on with the Sand Village, and them taking in the treaty. Everything would flow out smoothly like in the original. But now we'll cut to where Sasuke is. Because of Naruto's influence on Sasuke, Sasuke believed that he was powerless and that he needed to leave his the village, as well as some of the friends he had, which wasn't really anybody in the village, to go and receive training from Orochimaru. Sasuke's decision to leave the village was a result of the chain events that kindly rekindled his hatred for his brother and his desire to avenge his clan. With hearing that Naruto was able to stop Itachi from taking him and dealing a lot of damage to Kisame and Israk Ninja, and being able to escape from that situation after hearing it from the news and gossip from some other random place, and humiliated by the fact that Naruto is strong enough to be near Itachi's level, and you would think that he is very disappointingly weak. And he's also aware of the fact that Naruto is superior to himself in skill. Sasuke, who is still in the hospital after healing from Tsunade, as well as Tsunade healing Rock Lee of his legs and all that stuff, Sasuke would challenge Naruto to a fight right after when he returns to Konoha. With Naruto seeing no real point to doing this, he would decline, telling Sasuke that he isn't on his level yet, so he can't fight me, and would just wander off, telling Sasuke to just leave him alone, as nothing he's going to do is ever going to reach himself, because he has that cocky type of attitude. Sasuke would, as Naruto's walking behind him on the rooftop, would charge his Chidori and would rush at Naruto. Naruto, who knew this would kind of happen, would in the one hand summon a Rasengan and blast it towards Sasuke, launching him backwards, damaging his hand in the process. With Kakashi, who was there watching this entire thing, like in the original, Kakashi would come down and ask what's happening, with Sasuke saying that they're in a spa right now, and would see that the curse mark is starting to appear on Sasuke, but slowly comes back into the seal on his neck. with Naruto seeing no real point in finishing this battle, as Sasuke seems to be out of breath from just using the one jutsu that just then, after he was just healed from Tsunade and healing from his recoveries from let's just say training or some BS like that Gara or something gave him during their fight. He would still be out of breath and not at his peak performance at this point. And with the talk from Kakashi, like in the original, trying to tell him that, there's no point in fighting, and that once he gets rid of Itachi, what would be there left for him in the village as well as in life? And if he doesn't create bonds, then everything will go downhill in his life. With Sasuke not really caring about this talk at all, but it does somewhat get to him. He would, eventually leave. During the night, the Sound Four would come into the picture and would tell Sasuke that they can leave for Orochimaru right now, as he just needs to get his stuff and meet them at the village gates, as Orochimaru wants to take him, and if he wants power like they had shown him, then they would gratefully give it to him. With Sasuke being hell-bent on surpassing Naruto and killing his brother, he would agree to this and would join the Sound Four and consume that pill and go into the that little bottle thing. I think it's like a massive tub. Anyway, with Sakura, who was trying to convince him before he left, she would now know that Sasuke is leaving the village, and she would go to Tsunade after being knocked out and waking later. During this conversation of a crying and desperate Sakura trying to confess her love to Sasuke and begging him not to leave the village, but him rejecting her, she would realize that he was going to leave either way, and she would offer to go and help him in an act of revenge, and which he would refuse this. And, after knocking her out, same thing would happen. Sakura would then go to the Hokage, and a mission would start to begin. Naruto would be called into the office, as he has been shown to be an absolute prodigy, and would be elected to become a Jonin, skipping the rank of Chunin, as he did technically, kind of pass the Chunin exams, as well as stopping the first Tails Jinchuriki, and also helping in the fight against Kabuto, knocking him out in one go, who was, ranked to be about a Jonin level, as he did have the same type of skills as Kakashi at that time. With Naruto being granted the rank of Jonin and Shikamaru being granted the rank of Chunin, Naruto would be elected to be the type of guard for the rescue Sasuke arc of this entire thing, after having the news from Sakura that he left the village with the Sound Four. With Naruto being gathered with Shikamaru himself, Kiba, Choji, as well as Neji, and Naruto also recommending Shino. However, Shino was on a special mission with his father at the time. They would go and set off. During this time, Neji, still didn't really have his real big talk no jutsu, but still does know that, fate is not going to go into, it's not always right sometimes. And, he would still come to the same resolution that he had in the original, without Naruto trying to talk no jutsu him. With them going to the village gates, Sakura arrives, telling just before they're leaving, and explains while crying that she failed to stop Sasuke, and asks Naruto, who she believes is the only one real capable to stop Sasuke and bring him back to the village, do a once in a lifetime request, and makes Naruto promise her to bring Sasuke back to the village. They easily, after that, and Naruto basically rudely just saying to screw off, he's not going to listen to him, he can do whatever he wants, because, he's a Chad that way. They would go off, and they would easily catch up to the Sound Four, who were escorting Sasuke back to Orochimaru. The strategies were not used, rather, the team would split up, and the Sound Four would split up, and they would all fight by themselves. However, this would not go to the same as the original, with Naruto there being able to use a lot of the breath forms. With the first fight against Jirobo, Naruto, in a quick flash, would just use the first form, Low Clouds Distant Haze, and thrust his sword, unleashing it and stabbing it into Jirobo's heart, immediately killing him before he can activate the first mark. With, the other Sound Four running off again, they would meet with Kidimaru, the same in the original, but with Naruto there, with an easy access to all this type of forms and stuff, Naruto would use the fourth form, shifting low slash, and would quickly, in a blur of speed, would dash towards Kidimaru and immediately sever his legs from his body and his lower torso, immediately type of killing Kidimaru with, you know, Sakon and Ukon having to stop, and Shikamaru versus Tayua, I think that's how you say it, as well as Kimimaru coming to take Sasuke away, with Naruto telling the other people on the team to just deal with these people, as it would be a type of 4-on-2 situation, or, you know, a 4-on-3 if, you know, Sakon and Ukon merging, you know, whatever. It wouldn't really be a difficult fight for them, as in the original they basically 1v1 them, but now with a 4v2 type of situation, it would go heavily into Konoha's side. With right before, you know, everyone arrives, with Naruto heading off to stop Kimimaru, with Sasuke and the others still fighting the two people and having a not so difficult time, but then being able to easily overpower the two, the Sand Trio arrive, where they would also help in the fight against these two people. And with it now being a 7v2, it would easily go into their hands, with Gaara, you know, crushing Tayua, I think he's saying that, I'm not 100% sure though, and all the other people dying there as well. It would be an absolute win for Konoha, with Shikamaru telling the team that Naruto can handle Kimimaru, or the person that they saw before, that they should go and you know, help with escorting Sasuke back to the village, with them agreeing, and Gaara and the 3 Sand siblings saying that their business is kind of done, as they know how strong Naruto is. They would go off and go back to Konoha, as they still have a meeting to do there. With Kimimaru and Naruto's fight, with Kimimaru thinking that he is so much stronger than Naruto, he would be surprised that Naruto immediately caught up to him and has his sword brandished right in front of him, with him also holding the I think it's like a pot, the massive pot that has Sasuke inside it. With Kimimaru wanting to finish this quickly, he would use his Kika Genkai and release bones from his hand, as well as his spine, having like a whip and a sword in his hands, and would immediately charge at Naruto, with Naruto with his sword clashing with Kimimaru's bone sword. They would just they would clash each other, as, you know, Kimimaru is still powerful, but he is on death's doors, and with Naruto being so much stronger than the original, it would be an easy fight with Naruto, not even have to use any of those forms, but instead cutting off the head of Kimimaru in a few slashes, with Kimimaru not dead, and Sasuke, who was still in the pot, Naruto would feel the raw power coming off the pot that Sasuke's in, and Sasuke would come out of the pot with the curse seal of heaven coming all the way up his body and onto his face, and having one of his eyes, you know, had that black part around his pupil in his, I think it's called a scurula, I think that's how you say it. Anyway, with Naruto now being caught up with Sasuke, and Shikamaru still being far away, with the rest of the team, with them being still so far away, it would basically be a 1v1 with Sasuke. Sasuke, who feels his inhuman strength, which, you know, thinking that he will be much stronger than Naruto at this point, would still remember Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan and how Itachi was able to obtain it, and remember that by killing his best friend Shisui Uchiha, revealing it to Sasuke, he thought that maybe he could kill Naruto to gain his Mangekyo Sharingan to help in exacting revenge on Itachi, and would think that by this is his revenge is to be done by any means necessary, and that would be Sasuke's motivation for killing Naruto, as he claimed that Naruto was his best friend. But that would kind of just be a one-sided friendship, as Naruto just sees him as a teammate, and only complied with any of Sasuke's wishes to have fights or go after trainings to get food with Sakura, just because it was convenient, as he was either hungry or wanted to train. Back in Konoha, Kakashi was brought up to speed on the situation and summoned his dogs, that being Pakun, to track down Naruto and Sasuke. Meanwhile, with Naruto and Sasuke would unleash his Chidori, and Naruto would use his sword and immediately use the 7th form, obscuring clouds. And with him running towards Sasuke and Sasuke running towards him, Naruto's movement would again seem to take the form of clouds, with mist appearing all around the wide area, and with Naruto being hidden in them. And Sasuke, who has to activate a Sharingan to try to see it, would fail to do so, as instead of the chakra-based thing, this is like real mist that it's appearing, and will be completely confused over the situation that's happening, and would try to use his Chidori at the time to slash it where he thought Naruto was. But instead, Naruto would come up behind him and slash down at Sasuke, aiming to, either cut off one of his arms, or just cut him in general to stop any of this curse mark dealings that's happening at that point, or just kill him off completely, as he sees that this mission is like a complete waste of time, as Sasuke is defected from the village and doesn't really need to be living at this point, as he isn't loyal to Konoha at any time during the this entire time. With Sasuke and his enhanced abilities, he'd be able to try react to Naruto moving, but having his one hand, that being his left one, cut off completely, and him being bleeding out all over the water where they were. With Sasuke crying out, saying that Naruto had cut off his hand, he would tell Naruto why he's doing this, and to just let him go with Orochimaru. With Naruto, who seems to be has a cold gaze, glaring towards Sasuke, would tell him that isn't possible, as this is a mission that he was being done for the Hokage, and that he needs to come back to the village, as he's not going to let someone from the Uchiha clan, a clan of Konoha, go and trade with a missing nin who killed the past Kage, who Naruto did have a type of grandfather type situation, so he does have a reason to want Sasuke to die or come back to the village and be imprisoned for life. With Naruto easily able to overwhelm Sasuke during this entire fight, Sasuke would still try to use his Chidori in his other hand, and would still try to launch towards Naruto, and using a one hand sign would thrust his Chidori towards Naruto, with Naruto in his other hand would summon his Rasengan towards Sasuke, who is now in his stage 2 curse mark, and is starting to heal from his wound from the hand, with it not growing his hand back, but instead molding together, or not really molding together, but molding so the blood loss would stop, and would charge towards Naruto. Naruto, who is so much stronger, so much more skilled at this point than Sasuke, even with the curse mark being activated at stage 2, it would not be hard for Naruto to overpower Sasuke, with him immediately cutting Sasuke down, not killing him, but shredding him down his torso, as well as cutting off the type of wings protruding from Sasuke's back. With Sasuke now starting to bleed out at this point, would be kind of healed by Naruto, not letting him die, as he needs to pay for what he's done and be put into jail back at Konoha. But before any of this could really take place, Orochimaru as well as Kabuto would come into the picture, kicking Naruto backwards, sending him flying into the wall of the Valley of the End where they were. With Orochimaru, knowing that Naruto is very skilled, as well as having some control of the Nine Tails chakra, would tell Kabuto that they need to flee at this moment right away, as he doesn't want to get into a fight with Naruto at this point, as he doesn't have his hands, and even if Naruto, does kill him, he will be able to, use his that weird mouth protruding thing again, but it would still be hard to get Sasuke back, and he can sense that some other people are coming, that being Kakashi as well as Shikamaru's part of the team. With Naruto, getting up straight away, as the Nine Tails chakra is starting to heal him, and now having a type of One Tails cloak, knowing that Orochimaru as well as Kabuto are very strong, in terms of, you know, skill and power overall, with Orochimaru, who literally 2v1'd the now Hokage of the village, Tsunade, as well as Jiraiya, and still got away without having a lot of damage put on him at this point. Would know that even if he does use his one-tailed chakra cloak and using his breathing styles, he probably still would be able to beat him. But with Naruto now having the still having determination to stop Sasuke from leaving the village, would come in too late, as Kabuto had reverse summoned Orochimaru as well as Sasuke out of there to be healed, to heal Sasuke, using different type of drugs and medicines to heal him. With the mission now being a failure, and Zetsu was watching this entire thing, Kakashi would come before Shikamaru's team and would tell and ask Naruto what happened, with Naruto explaining the entire situation, with him defeating Sasuke revolting from Konoha to go to Orochimaru for power, and Orochimaru and Kabuto coming and kicking him away and reverse summoning Sasuke out of the area to be healed. Shikamaru's team would now come into the picture and would see what is happening, would ask Naruto if the mission was a success, with Naruto shaking his head. With the mission now being a failure, the entire team would come back to Konoha to tell the Hokage, Tsunade, what had been done during this entire time. With Jiraiya also there, you know, after coming back from another reconnaissance mission, he would ask Tsunade if he can go on a 3-year training trip with Naruto, as Naruto still wants to become stronger, and, you know, even though he is extremely strong at this point, he wants to go and experience the world and wants to experience different cultures, you know, around the world, that being, you know, the different villages. And because he is a Jonin, he does have type of rights to go out the village at any time. And with Jiraiya also being there to protect Naruto from any Akatsuki, if they did, you know, appear, both Naruto and Jiraiya would probably be able to take out the lesser members of the Akatsuki, with Tsunade agreeing that this is probably, you know, a pretty cool idea, as Naruto will come back stronger and will be able to, you know, become strong enough to take the hat off her and become the 6th Hokage. She would agree. Shikamaru would still break down in tears after, you know, he actually wouldn't, because no one really got hurt in the fight, so Shikamaru wouldn't really have that same drive to persevere and to carry on his ninja career, because he put his team's life in danger, and the missions failed regardless. Shikamaru still wouldn't be, you know, all that, like, more convinced to continue to persevere with his training. But with seeing how strong Naruto was, he would still have the same drive to become stronger, as Naruto and Shikamaru would have a much deeper bond than what they had in the original, with them actually becoming better friends than what Sasuke was to Naruto, and vice versa. With him knowing that his, you know, his best friend, or type of best, cloud-watching best friend, is so strong and has this type of drive to continue getting stronger, he would ask his sensei to train him even more. With, you know, that being done, Naruto would leave the village, and Sakura, who, you know, was still in this, you know, annoying attitude that she was in the original, would come to the 5th Hokage Tsunade and ask if she could become her apprentice, as she wants to become a stronger Kunoichi and be able to help Naruto get Sasuke back to the village. With, you know, Naruto being there, he would say, the fuck? Nah, get out of here. I could beat Sasuke whenever I wanted. It's just, you know, Orochimaru, a ace-class ninja, as well as Kabuto, came and sneak attacked me, and then immediately reverse summoned himself out of there. So, you know, if I wanted to, I could probably kill them all, you know? I'm just that guy. I'm just a Chad. With Naruto, who's, you know, he's gonna give up on Sasuke, as he doesn't really think that Sasuke has any good in him, as Naruto hasn't seen any type of good attributes to Sasuke at all, as he didn't have the same situation with the bridge builder, with Sasuke risking his life for Naruto. He didn't have any type of relationship during the entire Chunin exams. Naruto just saw Sasuke as a bruiser, someone who will do anything for power, and decides that if Naruto sees him again, he'll just kill him, as he will become a threat to the Konoha, someplace that he thinks as home, and wants to become the Kage of this village. With everything, happening the same, Naruto would leave the village with Jiraiya, saying goodbye to everyone there, and would leave off. The village's type of reaction to this would be half and half. Like I said before, some of the villagers would think that Naruto is playing a trick on them, as they think that he is the QB itself, while the other half is congratulating Naruto, seeing him as the son of the past dead Hokage, a hero to the village, someone who will go down in legends as the savior of the village, who defended all of them during the night of the QB attack, and realized that his own father had sealed the Nine Tails inside of him, and they would think back to it on some of type of talk that Minato said to them during Ninja, that he won't ask one of his ninja to do something he was not prepared to do himself. And they would realize that Minato could not ask one of them to sacrifice one of their children to become the Jinchuriki if he wasn't willing to do it himself. With that all happening, Naruto, Jiraiya would go off on their 3-year time skip for training. During this time skip, I'll go over this in a quick fashion, as there won't be any real story in this, but I'll just go over what will happen during that 3-year time skip. With Naruto being 13 at this time, and being 16 by the end of the training trip. During the training trip, Naruto, during all these type of missions that Jiraiya and himself would go in, during this time, Naruto, instead of learning a type of instead of like continuing to try and learn the Rasen Shuriken or any of those things, he would be able to learn that in a quick fashion, being able to master the Rasen Shuriken, being able to use it with one hand to summon it completely, and he would learn to use different chakra attributes to complete all of them, like a fire style Rasen Shuriken, and lightning style, and all those type of things. So he would be able to master the vanishing Rasen Shuriken. With Naruto now having a really strong jutsu, as well as having really powerful swordsmanships, Naruto as well as Jiraiya would go off and go to the Land of Iron, where a whole bunch of samurai are, who are known for having great swordsmanship skills, as well as swordsman masters there. And Naruto would go off to learn some things from them for about a year, while leaving Jiraiya to train with them. During this time, Naruto would be learning many different type of techniques, as well as, not really misbreathing techniques, but different swordsmanship styles, and would try to put them and adapt them into misbreathing to further strengthen the different forms of misbreathing. With Naruto still having that Naruto, he still has his same personality, being airheaded to wander off most of the time. A lot of the samurai there would think that Naruto just seems to be really cold towards them, and wouldn't think much of him except for being a astonishingly powerful, as well as a prodigy in swordsmanship, and would ask Naruto if he wants to stay there, with Naruto saying no. And that's quite a bother, as he doesn't really like this place in general, as it doesn't have the same type of feeling as Konoha did. With Jiraiya after a year coming back, Naruto would ask Jiraiya if he can teach him anything, worthwhile, and Jiraiya, who knows that Naruto has the summoning of the toads, would want to see if he can learn sage arts, that being sage mode. During another year, would take Naruto to the land of the toads. I've forgotten the name of it. During there, the toads would try to instruct Naruto to try and feel the natural energy around them, that being nature energy. With Naruto being able to feel it after being in there for such a long time and being instructed by them, Naruto would be able to absorb some of the nature energy around them. But something that the toads thought that was absolutely astonishing, as Naruto did not have the same sage mode that they were thinking of, like what his father had before him, but instead different type of markings would appear on his face. This would be the Demon Slayer mark. It will have the same type of attributes as Sage mode, which is the enhanced strength, sensory abilities, and is also because it is the Demon Slayer mark, instead of, you know, Sage mode in general, it won't have the life force taking, so he won't die at the age of, like, I think it's 24. He won't die at the age of 24. Instead, it would he'll be able to make the mark appear whenever he wanted, and it would still have that mist type of drawings on his face, the mist marks on his face appearing on his, you know, his left upper forehead as well as his cheeks, and those would be a red coloring, which would be like the red coloring of the eyes of normal Sage mode. With Naruto now having a type of Sage mode, and also this enhancing his already powerful swordsmanship, you would also find out that his sword, whenever he was using his Demon Slayer mark, would turn into a bright red blade, and having with white and red, which would have a real cool you know, look to it. As well as Naruto also being able to access the transparent world, also telling Jiraiya of this, you know, this new ability that he's been able to use when using his Demon Slayer mark. He would tell him that he's able to see through people's bodies and through objects, being able to see the blood and as well as the muscles and tissue and all that stuff of the person he's looking at, or, you know, the things that he's looking at. And I would tell him that you know, he can look and see where people are going to be, having, you know, the type of ability of the Sharingan to be able to track and see and can tell when different strikes and blows will be struck against them. With that being pretty much done, it would go straight into Naruto coming back to the village, with after another year of Naruto as well training with Jiraiya and mastering different jutsus like the Shadow Clone Jutsu and mastering all this other jutsu. He would also learn fire jutsu as well as water jutsus like the water prison, the water dragon, some of the other toad arts like the like fireball jutsus type of thing with oil. He would also learn all of that stuff, but he wouldn't really use it all in all with his swordsmanship, as he took extra care in learning to strengthen his swordsmanship to a whole nother level. Naruto at this point would be able to defeat anybody in a instant when using his sword, and that includes, like, you know, A rank ninjas, and would be able to definitely defeat a whole bunch of S rank ninjas, that being like the entire Akatsuki in general. So he wouldn't really have to fear from any of the Akatsuki coming after him. With that pretty much done, I think that's where I'll leave the video. So Naruto, for the next episode, we'll have to go into Naruto returning back to Konoha and the rescue of Gaara from Sasori and Deidara. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button as well as that subscribe button, as it really means a lot to me. Do put down in the comments if you want any other different videos and anything I can work on. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.